got a trunk full of amps, motherfucker. Got a trunk full of amps, motherfucker. Fucker. That's how we're going to start the replay today. It's just what's in my head. What's in your head today? What's in your head today? That'll be my slogan. But no, it's not my slogan. Welcome! It's me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers. And this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are here to look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy within self. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And this is the message that just came out of the deck that we need to look at today. The Ace of Pentacles. Value, worth, abundance, prosperity, growth, planting a seed, seeing it come to fruition, and hitting myself in the face with a card. You know when you do that with your phone, and give yourself like a black eye, and you're like laughing, but also like, oh, why does it hurt so much? It's a whole computer just dropped on my face. Oh, Venmo, yes, there is a link. So there's a couple different ways you can. I like how they're doing the new badgie thingy. There's a couple different ways that you can pay. You can click the link in my profile and there's a PayPal support button, a Venmo, or Cash App. You can send 22 or more, however much you want to send for a reading right now, a deep reading. Or alternatively, you can book a private reading there, and there's different ones available. You just kind of got to look through the descriptions, read carefully which ones are pre-recorded and which ones are not. And that's all at the link in my profile. And I have a new Amazon storefront, but I'm silly and I forgot to link it. Oh well. But yeah, so now when people are like, what decks are these? There's going to be a link coming in my profile that's like, these are the decks. And then you can go give, Amazon more of your money. But at least you'll benefit me in a small way, so that'll help me, I guess, support me. But also the creators of the decks, because the decks themselves are really amazing. And one of the things I like is that I can control the seller. A lot of times when you look up a deck, like I'll say like, oh, Vice Versa Tarot. And then you hop over to Amazon anyway, right? And you look it up and you're like, oh, here it is for $19. And really there's another one that's priced at $41. And you're like, I'm sure it's the one for $19. And then you see the like tiny little name in front of it. So it's not the actual publisher of the deck, which means the people who created the deck are not receiving anything. And it's going to some third party like entity that's creating it. So one of the benefits of having the Amazon storefront is pointing you to the publisher so that you can find the person to pay who is going to then take the money and give it to the creator of the deck. That's the goal. So that's the silver lining on the Amazon storefront that I don't even have a link to yet, but it's Pearl's Amazon store. Okay. Funny that we should be talking about money and I'm holding the Ace of Pentacles. I do need money. So, everybody needs it. But yeah, I have to pay some bills. So for anybody who needs readings today, hop in the link. And see if there's anything that fits your schedule, or if you want one right now, it's $22. Or if you are a subscriber for the subscription amount, you will receive 2 cards anytime I see you on a live with a yellow prayer badge next to your name. Then I will answer any questions you may have. And I see some subscribers have joined us, so they will likely get questions answered at the end of the collective reading. But first, let's talk about this coin. This is valuing something about our feminine aspect. So the emotion, our creativity, our sensitivity, our openness, our receptivity, valuing that. Understanding that is what's really going to allow you to grow something. That's the meaning of this card for me right now. That's why the Ace of Pentacles is here. And it can be an offer to show how much you value someone. And the price of that thing doesn't indicate how much you value someone. Like, at all. You know, if you have very little to give and you spend all you have on a small sign of the significance of somebody, you've spent more than the millionaire who spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on the, 25 billion carat diamond that he finds. Like, just know that it doesn't really matter the amount of money that's coming in an offer like this. It's really what it's worth, and it can mean like the experience is worth something, but it's something good, and it's something worth investing in, something worth saying yes to, and something we're giving ourselves. We're making ourselves an offer we can't refuse. How is everybody today? I see Nicole in there here. As I stated, if you subscribe to my channel, you can receive 2 cards, a 2-card reading for any questions, anytime I see you with a subscriber badge. So not only just today when you purchase a subscription, but anytime I see you, it's a perk of being a subscriber. Otherwise, I do not answer free questions. I am also doing $22 questions. There's a link in my profile, Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. And when it comes through and I see, I get like a notification, you will be first on the list. Okay, so the next card that's coming out, the 9 of Wands. So we see this feminine energy looking like Audrey Hepburn, which you can't see because of the glare, but I have a Breakfast at Tiffany's image over there because it was my sister's, and I found it just in the bookcase, and I was like, this is black and white, and it's gonna look so good on my altar, so I put it there. And also representing to that energy of that commitment, the engagement ring, the commitment, long-term commitment, long-term relationship, and a shout out to some of the images that have come through my divine masculines vagaries. We'll call them. That's what we're going to call his interactions with me. Vagaries. Anyways, that image of this, I want to say confident, and she has an air of mystery about her. The Breakfast at Tiffany's kind of mysterious. We don't know where she's from. We don't know her story. And slowly we find out this less than savory story as the movie unfolds. But 1:22 on the clock, we see her climbing some kind of a ladder, and we see her overcoming these wands, which were thinking obstacles, ideas, cleaning up her thinking, cleaning up her mindset about her ability to overcome issues she might have had, and healing from the wounds of isolation, of the way it feels in isolation. I'm seeing 08 at the bottom of this. If that's significant to anybody, it happens to be 2008 is the year that I met my person in person. For me, their birthday is on the 8th. 8 is the infinity symbol. It's talking about the 8 of Wands too, because it's a Wands card. Comes before the 9 of Wands, so she's ascended above. There's a lot. I've never really noticed that 08 in there before, or paid that much attention to it. Okay, so something about giving ourselves love, giving ourselves an offer we can't refuse, climbing up out of our isolation, healing those wounds, ending this focus on separation. No longer do we spend every waking minute thinking about when separation is going to end, how separation is going to end, who's going to cause separation to end, when's separation going to end, is it 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 going to end? It's like, when I stop thinking about it is when it ends. When I stop focusing on the stuck sensation or the stuck feelings or being stuck in time. Thank you so much. I'm seeing people with these badges that shows that they have given me gifts, and I appreciate that. I like that they're doing that now so I can see that. Thank you for your donations. Okay, so I'm ending this time of this focus on being stuck or being trapped. My mind isn't really that good at keeping me down anymore. Let's take a look a little bit deeper at this Ace of Pentacles. What is the offer that we can't refuse, that we've made to ourselves or that's coming in? I just saw a Knight of Cups, but it didn't completely come out of the deck. So I think we thought it was going to come from a knight who was going to bring us some kind of romantic gesture, but it never materialized. It never came out of the deck. Okay. For all the people that end up coming into my lives and say I'm like an abomination or whatever that happened yesterday, like, go ahead. Because for me, these are the moments that confirm if any doubts I've had about whether or not this shit is for real. I'm talking about how I saw the Knight of Cups, but it didn't come out of the deck. I'm literally speaking of that. This is going to replay on YouTube later too, so there'll be evidence of this having happened. And I'm like, so you thought it was going to be this person coming out and expressing this romantic gestures, but it wasn't this person coming out, and instead we get another knight. And this is the Knight of Pentacles. And this is the slowest moving, withholding, breadcrumbing knight in the deck. And the interesting part about this deck being a deck that shows these very childish images, but it's interesting because they have dressed themselves up as if they are adults, but really they're children. And the Knight of Cups also looks like that. I'll pull it once we get to the end of the reading. I'll fish through the deck and pull it out if it doesn't already come out, but so that you can see it. But this has just been a long time coming. We haven't seen it, and we just wonder if it's maybe just a carrot dangling on a stick. Somebody mentioned in the Divine Masculine Love Letter this week, he says he wants to give you something more than carrots, and it was like carrots as in diamond, and they were like, carrots? Like, and I was like, no, but I think that's what the subtitles said. But it is like that. It is like the dangling of a carrot. Okay, so yes. So then the question I asked was, what is that offer that's been made that we can't refuse? And we get this Knight of Pentacles energy, which is the energy of building something slowly and steadily. So we can't refuse ourselves something, even if it takes time for us to give it to ourselves. And that's really something to be mindful of. That's translating to this dynamic. It's like, listen, when I do what it is that I do, when I do it, I want to do it in such a way that does justice to my value and my worth. That's a lot of cards. Too many cards. So let's clarify this Nine of Wands with less cards than that, please. The Eight of Cups. And look, that 8. Again, we're being called out to that number 8 that appears at the bottom, this 08 energy, which when I'm holding up in the camera also looks like a 3-0 to me, but it's actually an 8 if you look closely. It's like one of those mop heads that's shaped like that. And then the 8 of Cups comes out to clarify this. So right now I'm doing a collective reading, and if you do would you like your own reading, you have 2 options. You can get a 2-card reading by subscribing to the channel, and then today and anytime I see you, I will always offer you a 2-card reading if you have a badge by your name. Or you can pay $22 through Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App when you click the link that's in my profile, and I will read for you here today. Or you can book a private reading at that link as well, so that you can have it later as a scheduled private reading. Thank you for asking. And thank you, Nicole, for chipping in here. So the 9 of Wands and the 8 of Cups. So how did we actually overcome these ideas that were holding us back? We walked away from something that was mentally, physically, emotionally exhausting. We were really exhausted by whatever we were having to handle. Like, it was a thankless, low-paying job, and we were being probably overworked and underappreciated. And so we walked away from it, and that was this, that came out in today's reading for the collective, which was that Eight of Cups energy, which was from a totally different deck, but it was about being able to look back and reflect upon the strength and the dignity that you have when you leave a situation where you're not being valued like that. And then let's clarify this Ten of Swords in reverse, showing us we're no longer stuck in some type of thinking, focusing on the end of something, stuck in a way of thinking about ourselves, stuck in a thankless job. We're willing to put in the time, the effort, the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, if slowly, because we're a bit perfectionistic, but still we really want to do our best and we're willing to do it. I'll take 2 cards. And what do we get then? Wow. Okay, so the 10 of Wands and the Page of Swords, and that's clarifying. So that's a 10 and a 10. So we go from the 9 to the 10. We started with the Ace, we skipped a bunch of things, and then we got 8, 9, 10, and technically 11. 2 11s here, or no, 11 and 12. My bad. Okay, so we are making progress. This is a slow and steady progress, but progress is being made, and that is what we want to see. This progress is why I've shifted my readings somewhat to not be so constrained to just being about a person, which may be less interesting and may hold less pull. But I really think that it is very, very important that we do find as much value and interest in our own well-being, which is a word that came out for me today, that we don't undervalue ourselves, Okay, so clarifying this 10 of Swords in reverse, no longer thinking about ourselves a certain way. We have the 10 of Wands, which is somebody who is really apparently overwhelmed and has to drop everything. She's no other options. She's just got to set it all down, put it all out there, let it all out. And so this can be your person needing to, their emotions just needing to come forward. And this is the energy of ending this separation. Once this person just is like, I feel terrible having done this, and this. I need to ask your forgiveness. I need to forgive myself, and I can't until you forgive me at the very least. And I need you to know how I feel. And I don't know what I'm saying, because this is the Page of Swords energy. So this is I got no idea if I'm going to say this the right way. I don't know if it's going to cut through all the noise that's been in this, in our heads, because we've both been so in our heads. But I don't want to be in our heads anymore. And I just want to talk. I just want to start talking about whatever we need to talk about so that we can just start growing something, right? God, that's the energy that I'm getting. The feelings of you and this person that you're focused on, that those feelings are, you can't contain them. You have to do something with them. Now, for the masculine energy, that means it has to take action. And so on Friday, I like to look at our passions and our interests. So let's go ahead now and look at that. So here's the seed, okay? I want everybody who's here right now and anybody who's watching this replay to think of a seed that they have planted recently about something happening, coming to fruition in their lives. Preferably not having to do with your relationship, because the whole point of this seed is that this is independent of your relationship but will exist alongside it. It is something that you bring a lot of passion into, or you want to bring a lot of passion and intensity to, but maybe you have a lot of reasons why you can't do that at this time. And I don't want you to worry about the reasons. I just want you to think about the seed. This is the seed that you are planting. This is an idea for something really wonderful to grow, something that will help you be prosperous in such a way. And it doesn't always have to be money, remember, but it can just be that it makes you more joyful so that you can do the other work that you are required to do for money in your life. I don't care how this plays out for you. It doesn't have to be on a grand scale. It can be on a minor scale, but just envision that thing, that seed, okay? In order to get it to grow, you know you have to put in this time and energy. And this is what you've been facing. You've been facing the reality that it's going to take this time. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to do some creative hustling along the way. You're going to have to focus your energy and attention on certain things in order to avoid some of the feelings of frustration and inertia. But as long as you keep climbing, as long as you keep ascending like you are doing right now, keep walking away from people pleasing and doing anything that is depleting you or draining you of energy. Just keep protecting your energy. Keep going in the direction that you are wanting to head in, which is from this almost there energy, just almost there, just one more step. It's just right over the... If you give up now, you're going to be so upset because you were just literally right there, kind of an energy. Just go with it. Do not let yourself overthink. Don't become mentally burdened or exhausted by how to do this thing. You don't have to know how. You're Harry Potter with a wand behind the headstone. You got to go fight Voldemort. It's going to be scary, but you're going to win. You only have one spell. Doesn't matter. It just so happens this spell is going to connect your wands and it's going to give you a superpower you didn't know you had. So just go do it. You don't even have to know exactly how to do it. Just go do it the best you can and you're going to be fine. That's what you're getting. So whatever that thing is, that is your instruction right there. Just do it. Sagittarius energy right now. If you're not feeling it, I started feeling it yesterday. I started doing every single thing in my planner and doing it. Okay, let's look at the passions now. This is what you have love for, because I hope you have love for more than just a person. You have love for yourself. You have love for some kind of an interest or creative endeavor or just something you admire and love, nature, whatever. I don't care. But let's look at it. Let's look at what your passions and interests, where they are guiding you. Where are they guiding you? Where are they guiding you? Because they're telling you to just go, right? They're telling you to go. Okay. They're guiding you towards a decision. Two of Swords. I've also got a holiday feast kind of an energy there. So some kind of a decision. Maybe to make before the end of the holidays. Okay? Some kind of a crossroads. That's where your passions are guiding you. Look at that. 10 of Cups. Okay. Look at how intoxicated we could be if we just let ourselves be creative and emotional and just flow with the energy of our emotions and kind of relegated relationships to the side. Look, they're black and white. They're not as interesting. They're not as intoxicating as whatever this is that I could decide to just plunge myself into. But this is honestly something I really want, something I find very emotionally fulfilling. So it's guiding you to make a choice to really identify what fills you up, what makes you giddy and excited. Okay. Let's see. 4 of Pentacles. All right. And that's building a foundation, a solid foundation in the material. It's letting go of outside opinions and ideas that don't serve us. And it is kind of coming right underneath that 8 of Cups energy. So what you're walking away from is like, doesn't matter what other people think about whatever you're passionate about. If you're passionate about sex toys, girl, go design the world's best sex toy. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Who gives a shit like what these people think? Like, you have to bring whatever brings you joy. You have to just not let other outside opinions really affect you. Just let that joy guide you, because it will protect you from giving a fuck, really. Because like when people are giving a fuck about what I do, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you're giving a fuck about that. Well, you know what it's doing for me? It's giving me so many options so many opportunities, so many different avenues and pathways to my growth so that I can have choices that you will never have because you don't honor what your passions are. So go off on me. Like, I don't care what you think about what I do or how I do it. Like, why would I when it's given me so much to choose from? And I knew that it would. I knew that I would have all these options. That's why as soon as I threw myself into my passions and found that there were many ways of showing that the passion I have, many ways of achieving that, and not just music for me. And then look at what I get. The Four of Wands. Total stability. I get to celebrate myself and my accomplishments. I get to relax and have this feeling of the foundation that I kept seeking in relationships. Suddenly I have that inside of me, and now the people that come into my life are finally relationship material because they've done this too. They went back and they repaired all of these things from their childhood that caused their wounds, that kind of caused them to feel an insecurity. They worked on that, and we're both in a situation now where we're in secure attachment because we have devoted ourselves to what we feel very passionate about, which includes one another at the end of the day. But I can't get to the one another part if I'm not passionate about myself. And I'm rarely going to be passionate about myself if I'm not passionately pursuing what I love to do. Why am I going to put passion into putting on a uniform and being like, thank you, I'll see, it's Christmas, did you get this booklet yet? Do you know what deal we're having? Like, I even brought passion to that job when I had to in order to get out of it. If you want to get out of a job that you hate, bring a lot of passion to it. Guarantee you're going to get out of that position. You're going to get promoted, or you're going to get airlifted to a different job because a billionaire will come through your gate and be like, you know what? I need you on my team of staff to just like inspire me every morning. So I'm going to hire you to tour the world with me. And that's what you're going to go do. Like, I swear, if you bring passion to the most mundane, worst job in the world, do it with flair, like your own flair. You'll get out of there because the right person will see you. I've had that happen to me before. When I worked at Starbucks in Massachusetts, I was really unhappy, and I just started to make my job as happy as a pastime as I could. I focused on the friendships I was making, which was difficult to do in Massachusetts. And one of my mentors told me that if I didn't find something about my current job that would help me, the job I wanted to do, which was to be an entertainer, be a musician, then I would be stuck in it forever. So I had to find something that it was teaching me that to be good at. And then I realized what it was. This one Saturday, we had to pass out those little booklets where you put all the stickers in and you get a free drink or whatever. And so those came in packets of 100. And I had to pass them out. And each time I had to pass them out, I had to say, hi, do you remember this program from last year? Okay, let me explain it to you. And then I would explain it to them. And I had to do it with the same level of pizzazz for each person. And at the end of the day, I went and got a third packet of them and went through a third packet of them. And I turned around to my manager and I said that 300 times today. And I just want to get a medal because I just want you to note how I just said it to the last person. I don't think you could have told the difference because I had told myself if I was going to enjoy my work, then I was going to have to be like that. I was going to have to be pleasant and actually connect with people. And I did. When I would say it, I would like, if I would really connect with them, I would be like, you're here all the time, so I know you want to use this, and even if you don't, whatever, you're going to listen to my spiel about it because they pay me to do this and I'm going to entertain you. Like, I just treated them all like it was entertaining for me too. I got a lot of tips that day. I got a lot of smiles that day. I got a lot of people who came back with those packets the next day. It was a definite shift in my energy, and I remember going home and telling my mentor, like, wow, I realized what it is. I realized that I want to be a person who performs music in front of thousands of people. And after a show, and now I've had this experience, this is 10 years later, I'm in Los Angeles, I do a show at the Hotel Cafe, and I practiced the day before, I practiced all morning, I'm under the weather, I'm almost always have under the weather issues right before a show for some reason, even though I'm rarely sick. And so I'm just like putting on my best face, go in, do the show, bada bing, bada boom. I feel good about it. Get off the stage. And then while you're sweating and feeling very self-conscious about the sweating and about all of the things that are happening, and it's loud and people are saying things, then people are coming up to you and they're like, oh my God, you're so amazing. Where can I find you? And they ask you, every single one of them asks you the same question, says pretty much the same things. There's definitely people who are emotional too that are like, you know, you helped me or whatever. And so each person, you have to be present. You do want to thank them. They just came to your show. You can't get everybody to do that in LA. It's tough to get people to come out at all these days. Like, it's like you are genuinely thankful for each person to be there, and you also want to die. Like, you want to die. You want to just go die in your bed. You don't want to take your makeup off. You don't want to have an after. You do not want to go to the after party. You do not want to do that. You're like, oh, thank you so much. I really want to die, but thank you. So I told her, I was like, so today when I was handing out those booklets, I was pretending that I was at the end of a show and I was super tired, and I had to make every single person know that I really was thankful that they came, because I wouldn't have been able to do my show without them. And she was like, now you got it. A week later, I was able to transfer to a Starbucks on the West Coast and head out to the West Coast, which I ended up living there for 10 years. And the best part is, the day that I was leaving this place, a man came through the drive-thru. I did my normal spiel. I was in a very good mood that day. I had a lot of people give tips because they weren't going to see me again. It was just like emotional. I was in a good mood and also a little like bittersweet. This man comes through who I saw on many occasions, and I just had my normal genuineness with him, and he stopped me and he said, why are you here? And I was like, what, here? And I was like, what do you mean, why am I here? That's like, I just give you a coffee and this is what you say to me? And he laughs and he's like, no, why are you here? You could be, he's like, listen, I have a sales floor. I know you could just be like the top of the staff there. Here's my card. And I said, well, I'm leaving today. I'm like, tomorrow, this is my last day, and tomorrow I'm driving to the West Coast. I'm going to be working out there, and I'm a musician. I'm going to the music industry. And he's like, I'm so happy to hear that, because I don't think I could stand it if I came through here one more time and you were still here, because you need to go way further than you're going now. And I just remember leaving and smiling and being like, I literally had whenever you get in a place where you like where you are and it feels good, that's when all the opportunities to leave come. And then you're at that decision, right? It said, where are your passions going to lead you? To a crossroads. They're going to make you decide that you want it even better than you have it now. Like, it's pretty good now, because once you looked around and found reasons to like it, it was pretty good. Now you got to make a choice. Now that you have this pretty good situation, do you want it to be even better? Because it could be even better. And it could be even better than that. And it could be even better than that. And that's a lot of what this card is about. The Nine of Wands. Could be better. Could be a little better. Could be better. Could be a deeper level of healing. There's an even deeper one. And there's a deeper one. And there's a deeper one. And the deeper you go healing those wounds, the deeper you go, the further up that ladder you climb. And you're climbing and you're climbing. And it's not that you're higher, better than other people. This is about personal best. This is about your performance along your journey. Other people are going to have privileges you don't have. Other people are going to have less privileges than you have. There's going to always be somebody that's going to be here, and so don't worry about other people's ladders. This is your own ladder. This is about, hey, you know what? It feels better to have more choice in my life. Like today, my mom wants me to go to Sam's Club. So I was like, hey, I can finish work at this time. Hopefully people book some readings today, or hopefully we see some subscribers today. And also hopefully I get some readings booked for the weekend. But whatever the case, I know somebody's got my back. Everybody's looking out for me. I'm going to go with you to Sam's Club. It's going to be a blast. Like, what else are we going to do in upstate New York today except go to Sam's Club? And buy really big bags of coffee beans. Like, that's I'm going to get like the big bag of the dark roast, French dark roast coffee bean to make my cold brew. That's what I'm planning to do. Super thrilled. But yeah, climbing up and being better each day. and also just appreciating where you are on this ladder that you've already climbed so far. Like, you're already so far up, and there's so much you have to show for the progress you have made. Think about that reading that was literally 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, oh, now I'm thinking of Sesame Street songs. Just, it's showing me that you're doing so well, and all of this focusing on valuing the feminine energy, our emotions, our creative energy, it's helping. I can tell that it's helping. I feel better. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like the comments are shifting. I'm not getting as many people that are, you know, as sad and depressed, or feeling as powerless, or in their ego, very jealous. I'm not getting as much of those comments anymore. I can feel the shift in the people who are watching and coming into a really beautiful, balanced energy. And that's what we're looking for. Hi. Thank you so much, Liberty Bell. I'm seeing your roses come through. I forgot to bring water up. Let's see. I have some time to do a few readings for people that are subscribing. If you have subscribed to my channel, which is you follow and you hit the subscribe button, you'll have a little yellow badge by your name, and I can pull 2 cards for you. I want to actually get enough subscribers that I don't have to worry. I can just read cards. It doesn't matter if you have a badge or not. So I just want to get to, like, I don't know how many subscribers those have. At least my card payment worth of subscribers. So I would need, God, that's a lot of subscribers. I need like 500 subscribers, because TikTok takes a butt ton of it. Because they have to pay Apple and Google and themselves before us. Mystery. I want to also pull a couple oracles for the collective too. I pulled one. I left it out of the deck, so it's not going to come out, but I'll share this one with everybody, because I first of all, somebody booked a Divine Masculine Channel love letter, and I just want to apologize to those of you that did not have the option to book it when it was $33, because it used to be $33, but I tried doing it in 15 minutes, and there's no way, shape, or form that can be done in that amount of time. It takes me an hour. You get a whole playlist of songs. You get the whole letter. I read you the letter. I give you some oracles. You get a 15-minute video plus all of the letter and everything. So it's a lot of work. So it's now $77 because it's right between the $66 30-minute reading and the $111 60-minute reading. It's like right in between there in terms of time investment. So for those of you that made it and got the $33 one, like, you total lucked out, because I can't do that anymore. But maybe I'll run a special at some point in time. Like, maybe, I don't know. I'll think about it, but it's a lot of work. It's very fun, though, I will say. But I did one for somebody today, and it was a gorgeous letter. I mean, gorgeous. Like, I'm going to ask her after she gets her letter, she minds if I share that letter with the collective, because it was just beautiful. But the 2 cards, I have the 2 cards that came out. She actually got the 10 of Cups, God bless her, and the King of Wands, God bless her. And then she got this Love Oracle card. I mean, this reading was bomb.com. Usually I'm like, I know it's hard to, like, hear somebody talking about how they still need to, like, release an ex, you know, you're like trying to like mitigate, you're like, I'm sorry, but this was like, girl, I'm claiming this reading, I don't even care if this is your reading, it's mine now, thank you, have a nice day. Like, it was really beautiful. But I saved this card for you all so that you could do this ritual, because it just happened to be one of those things that was kismet, because these cards in this book, the Spellcasting Tarot, they are associated with a spell that you can do, you know, to handle any of the issues that may come up with that particular card. And what was really interesting is I was like, hey, let me tell you this in case you want to do this ritual. And as I started reading it, I was like, on a Friday. And I'm like, today's a Friday. And then it's like at dusk when the moon is full. And I was like, next Friday is in the full moon cycle, because it's like I'm doing full moon thing with my sister witch on Thursday, and so I know the full moon is like right in that 3-day vicinity there. So I was like, well, you should do this on next Friday at dusk. And so I plan to do it too, and I figured I'd share it with you if you all wanted to do it, for those of you that practice witchy things. And even if you don't practice witchy things, you can still have set an intention at dusk on a Friday to be open to receive love, and just use the full moon energy to release anything that might prevent you from doing that. But I'm going to share this card with everybody. What it says is, the love that you seek is waiting to be made manifest. You'll know when it arrives, for love always looks for the best in others and is recognized in an instant. Love is your true nature, and it's necessary for you to honor the compassion you feel in your heart. When you're true to yourself, your light shines brightly with divine love, nourishing you from within and inspiring those around you. Heartbreak, loss, and rejection has caused your heart chakra to shrink, and your fears have become guarded and defensive. But have faith, for a little magic will bring out all about that satisfaction your heart requires in order to be whole. So this will be available for replay on YouTube in case you don't, if you're in a place right now that you're listening and you can't write down what I'm saying or whatever. So have no fear. I shall post as soon as I can this evening to the YouTubes. It may be late tonight because I am going on a little trip. So upload, download might be later tonight, but I shall make this commitment to you that I shall do this. Remember. Okay. So to open your heart chakra, what you're going to do is next Friday at dusk, you are going, or you could do this right on the full moon, whatever that, it might actually be next Friday, but if it's not, if it's the 7th or the 8th or something, just do it on the full moon cycle if you want to. But it's kind of cool that it says Friday because that's also Venus's day, like today. Okay, so hold a piece of rose quartz, okay? And if you don't have it, just imagine it. It doesn't matter if you actually have it or not, just imagine it. Get a piece of pink paper or a pink candle, it doesn't matter. You also do need a pink candle, or you can have a white candle that you put, you know, pink petals on it, or put something pink on it, doesn't matter. Just you. The cool thing about witchcraft is literally like whatever's laying around. Like you're a witch, anything is a tool. So then you want to light this pink candle, and on a Friday at dusk when the moon is full, face the direction of south and say, and this is what you're going to say: flowers of pink, crystals of rose, bring me new romance so I will not close. My beautiful heart, I am longing to share compassion and kindness, to be gentle and fair. Desires recognized, I wish to ignite my passionate dreams so that I might attract beauty and love into my world. May deep the love mystery now be unfurled to bring about romance, kisses, and laughter, and be of my heart happily ever after. Attraction shines brightly, it fills up my heart. Love now surrounds me, ne'er to depart. Then you're going to blow out the candle, directing its smoke over your heart center, and say, gratefully, I accept the magic of you, of protection to assist in all that I do. Lend me the courage, build power in me, assist my transcendence, so mote it be. And if you don't want to say those things, you can say whatever kind of things you want to say, but just you might want to use that timing of the full moon to open yourself up and release anything blocking you from love. Working with rose quartz crystal, accepting and believing in who you are, and it's safe both to give and receive love and honor your true feelings. So that is, I wanted to make sure I shared that with everybody. And I will be doing something along those lines when we do our full moon ritual. So I'm just going to incorporate it into the full moon ritual, and then I might repeat it on Friday at dusk. Maybe I'll do it live or something. Maybe I'll try to do it live if I think of it. That would be kind of cool. So look to the south on Friday at dusk, and you shall see me also looking to the south. This is the card for today. It says Spirit guide. Okay. And there's that 8 again that we saw on that other deck coming up for us. So let's look at this message, and then after this, if you have a badge, I shall be answering questions for you. The badges are the prayers badges. And now they're doing these cool little gift badges. I think I'm also, like, if you don't have a prayer badge, but if you have a gift badge, I'll pull a card for you, because that's nice that they're doing that now. Okay, let's see. Can we do the alphabet? Yes, we can do it. S comes after L. Good job. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. You've never ever walked alone, for each step you take is guided by a helpful and protective watcher who resides in the spirit world. This is like about our counterpart. It's so annoying. Spirit guides come in many forms, including deceased loved ones, animals, and mystical beings who bring to you many gifts and lessons and always have your best interests at heart. All you have to do is be willing to accept their presence and pay attention to their loving messages, which can come in many ways. You're being nudged to be meditative and go into deep commune with your spiritual guardian at this time in order to harness spiritual connection and esoteric understanding. So, one of the things you can do is you can sit in the dark in front of a mirror during a full moon on a Monday night and light a white candle and say, so you can stay within the full moon cycle and do this on Monday night. Loving watchers guide the way, messages throughout the day, finding pennies, feathers fall, spirit signs to mark their call. Stare at flame of candle white, shifted focus in new light. Shadows all around I see, glimpsing figures easily. Magic helper at my side, mirror reveals spirit guide. Blow out the candle and imagine the smoke from the extinguished flame wrapping around you, binding you and your spirit guide together, and say, gratefully, I accept the magic of you, of protection to assist in all that I do. Lend me the courage, build power in me, assist my transcendence, so motive ye. Okay, so the other messages from this are, messages come to you through words and songs, conversations and books. Signs are all around you. Trust your visions and leave out gifts of gratitude to seal your bond. So I'm going to incorporate both of those things into my full moon ritual. However, I'm not going to use a mirror. I'm going to use my obsidian crystal as my reflective surface. And then I will do scrying as well, which is also cool if you've never done it. You can also use the surface of the water in your black cauldron if you have a cauldron, or you could probably do a white a bowl of white water. You just need a reflective surface and a candle flame, and just stare at the flame as it reflects in the surface, and ask to be bound to your spirit guide and commune with them. And you can use that to commune with the energy of your higher self, or any aspect of you, or any aspect of your ancestry, I think. Going back to the dawn of time and beyond. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but who cares if I am? Okay, so would y'all like some cards? For those of you who would like me to pull a card, so today we're going to focus on love of self. So I'm going to pull a card that's talking about self-love, and then I'm going to pull a spellcasting card for you. Let's see. Liberty Bell. Let's go ahead and get you had a specific question. What should I be focusing my energy towards with this aligned date? Okay. So I will give you your self-love card. And I'm going to modify your question so it's what aspect of, we're looking specifically at self-love because that's what we're looking at today. So what should I be focusing my energy towards in regards to my self-love on this aligned date? Stop it. And then give me a spellcasting oracle for you. Okay. Well, so here it is. Don't shoot the messenger. We got the 4. which is the Emperor card. In the Lover's Path Tarot, though, it is labeled as the Power card, and we see Arthur and Guinevere. But before we jump to conclusions about power couples, which I know the Twin Flame Collective really likes to do, I just want to mention that Arthur came between Guinevere and Lancelot, and he wanted dominance over her no matter what. And so their relationship isn't like the best. He was a super controlling person, and he wanted dominance over all of England and over Guinevere as well, even though she really loved Lancelot. So there is this, maybe what this is about is pouring all of the love into this person who just wants love to have control, where you want love to experience the purity of love itself and to receive the feeling of having been valued in that same way. So you're having to find a way to value your own masculine energy without this power aspect to it. So it's like valuing love, but not because it gives you power or control over somebody. Because it makes you more powerful to love, period. And understanding what that means. And then that is coming with forgiveness. And so there may also be here a father energy. It could be even expressed in a mother. It's not gender. So like you can have a mother that has like the role of mother and father, and the fathering energy is not, the greatest, is domineering, overbearing, overgiving. Those are kind of like when we see that the mothering energy too much in the masculine energy. So there can be something going on in those dynamics that require forgiveness, or it can be about your person really needing to give forgiveness to yourself for giving this person power over you when they were actively trying to prevent you from experiencing love and connection, just so they could control the dynamic between you. So that's your message for today regarding self-love. All right, Liberty Bell. That was a doozy. You really got hit there. Giving you an energetic hug. Okay, let me see. We've got Jindy is next. So let me give you your self-love card. And then we will do your oracle here. Okay. Okay. We are getting the Two of Arrows from the Lover's Path Tarot and the Fertility card. So the Two of Arrows for me is it's a standstill. It's when things aren't moving. It can be kind of peaceful because it can be sort of, it's like avoidant energy. Like avoiding making a decision is more peaceful than making a decision that causes some kind of a turmoil. This particular image is Cupid and Psyche, and I believe this is when Cupid decides to, I don't actually know the actual moment in this scene, but the story being that he has told Psyche that she cannot look at him. She just has to trust that he is who he says he is. And when they do finally sleep next to one another, she gets her lamp and goes to look at him and accidentally burns him, wakes him up. He's pissed that she doesn't trust him, and he flies off, and it's a whole thing. So this moment, though, she's sleeping, like there's peace there. It does not yet happen that they are entering into the Three of Swords energy. They're still kind of in the Two of Swords energy. But a decision is going to be made that is going to affect them. So how is this applying to the self? So there is some self-love work that has to be done in regards to making decisions, like just kind of, I see the feminine energy here sleeping. Like, so this is like not using your emotions to make choices. And it's a protective thing. It's like you don't want your emotions to cause you to make the wrong choices. But it's not really understanding that emotions work with logic, right? Psyche and Cupid have to work together. So it can't just be like trust your emotions and ignore logic, or trust logic and ignore your emotions. It's like they both have to be awake. They both have to be working together. So I think waking up to the importance of your divine feminine energy. Right now, you value more this intellect, the thoughts you have about a person. You value the masculine energy of another person more than you value your own feminine energy. And that's what your oracle is trying to help you address. It's trying to help you show how abundant your life will be. This is fertility. How abundant your life is when you enter into that goddess energy, that awareness of your power in your feminine energy, the power of your emotions, the power of your own creativity. And so I see you needing to make a choice to really choose to love the feminine and value your own feminine energy inside of self. It's only in doing that someone would be likely to choose you, because you have to have this confidence that you are worthy of being chosen. These things, they don't determine our fate, but they influence our behaviors. So I want to make that clear, because I think that, we do a lot of, we believe in magic, so we do magical thinking in the community a lot. We're just like, oh, if this is how it is and this is going to happen. What I'm trying to teach you is mastery. So it doesn't mean that there aren't these outside circumstances that do create obstacles, that once you achieve this mastery, that those things just go away. It isn't supposed to be like that. What it's supposed to do is give you an awareness of how the choices you are making really do affect where you put yourself, who is around you, what you do with your time, where you focus your time and energy, the types of dialogue that you're listening to all day, the emotional effects that has on you, the effects that stress have on you, how reducing stress and increasing listening to yourself can help reduce stress. Those are the things that you're supposed to be achieving when you're listening to readings. If you're listening to readings because you think that a reader is going to help a person come back to you, you have to shift into understanding what the reader's job really is. I'm really supposed to be supporting you and having more skill at understanding how the way you think and feel influences your decision making. That's at the heart of what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got Texas Honey is up next. And you just got the sacrifice card coming out. This is, I believe, which one is this? 12. I can't remember 12. I think it's the Hanged Man. Yes. So it is Orpheus and Eurydice. And this is about your self-love right now. I'm going to read what this card... Anytime I get a card that I'm not certain of, I like to read. I mean, I know what the Hanged Man means, but I'm not familiar with the story as much. And I want to know it. Okay, so Orpheus was the son of Apollo. With his songs, Orpheus moved the hearts of humans and gods. He was loved by the nymph Eurydice, and he loved her wildly in return. Eurydice was killed soon after they wed. Distraught and mad with sorrow, Orpheus decided to rescue her with his song. He stood before Persephone, goddess of the dead, and sang until she relented and honored his request, but with a difficult condition. Orpheus must not look at his wife until they were safely home. Orpheus failed this test as he sacrificed his quest to ease Eurydice's insecurities. Dang. So, being caught between worlds, short-term sacrifice to reach a long-awaited goal, taking care of others' needs even if they're not in your personal interest, gaining compassion from difficult experiences. And when it's reversed, it means feeling unable to make the sacrifice the situation requires and creating difficulties for oneself. Okay, so when the hangman comes out in a position of self-love, and it's being juxtaposed with this message that said taking care of others' needs even if they are not in your personal interest, and knowing that this is about your love that you're putting towards yourself, I think this is a call for you to step back and take a look at how you are perhaps doing this, how you are taking care of other people's interests, and not really doing things that are in your best interest. And also the condition of not looking at somebody until they're safely home and not being able to, like, still having the insecurities. The gods in these stories always ask for impossible things. And the stories that they told were meant to show the difficulty of being in the human form, of how difficult it is to trust that the outcome is going to be what you desire, and kind of giving yourself a little bit of just a loving energy in regard to this, that it's not simple or straightforward to just shift your perspective or to change how you've been doing things for so long, or to stop caring about people's interests and start prioritizing your own. It isn't something that you're probably going to be able to just head towards without looking back and feeling like, oh, I don't know, like maybe I'm being, cruel now because I'm not doing this or that. I have the same experience. It's like, well, if I do this, I mean, maybe that's hurting this person. And it's like, well, if your intention is and it harm none, and that includes yourself, right? If you're harming yourself in helping another, then you really can't fulfill and it harm none without sacrifice. So your choice is, do I sacrifice myself? Or in this case, do I sacrifice someone's peace, and their security, which sometimes is their journey to learn to get outside of self, or to get from within self instead of seeking it outside of self. So your oracle card to go with sacrifice is dreams. Okay, so not sacrificing your dreams for someone else, or trying to fill someone else's dreams without regard to your own. And also that this current pause that you're experiencing is probably about working through some of the subconscious stuff that's coming up in your dreams right now. There's a lot of messages that may be coming up that are important for you to acknowledge. I've had some obvious messaging coming up in my dreams lately, and I'm remembering a lot of my dreams lately, so maybe doing some dream work is a good idea for you. But that was a beautiful reading. I hope that helped you today. And you're sending me all these little treats, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for following me. Also, I'm seeing people following me here. Okay, let's see. We've got Lindsay. Lindsay's next, and let's see. Probably Nicole too. Did we get Nicole yet? Got Jindy and Texas Honey. We've got Lindsay, and then Nicole too. Okay. So Lindsay, let's get your self-love card for Friday. If you would like cards, you can either subscribe to me here and I will read 2 cards for you today, or anytime I see you live, you will always be eligible to receive whatever theme we're doing. I will pull cards for you. And then you can also pay for readings today, $22, or you can book a private reading at the link in my profile. Please help out this weekend. If you're seeing this as my YouTube live replay, please consider helping out. I definitely need some revenue here. We're at that beginning of the month when all the bills are due, so please help. Okay, Lindsay, exciting cards for you. Ten of Cups, which, as you may recall, if you were here earlier, that was in the Divine Masculine channeled love letter I did for someone else today. And the Ten of Cups is a beautiful energy that is all about our emotional fulfillment, our spiritual bliss. This card has little to do with what makes us happy on the earth, honestly. A lot of times we may associate the feelings from this card with earthly things, but in truth, if we truly feel the feelings of the Ten of Cups, we could withdraw the earthly things and we would still feel it. So, you know, if getting your new car makes you feel so good and having the new car is so good, and then somebody takes the new car away and you don't feel so good anymore, you don't feel your value, you don't feel as worthy, your car that you now have isn't as nice as the one that you had, then the feeling that you had wasn't the Ten of Cups, it was the Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is good too, but the Ten of Pentacles is attached to material things. So if the Ten of Pentacles goes away, you feel it. Ten of Cups, you can't ever get rid of that feeling. It's a feel-good feeling. Maybe somebody takes the car, you lose a car, but you're like, it's okay. I have insurance. I'm going to get another car. It's going to be a better car. It's going to be even nicer. I feel good anyway. It doesn't matter if I don't have a car. Like, you know, now it's pretty fun to go for walks. I wasn't going for a lot of walks, and now I do, and I love getting outside. It's been a good change for me. So my transportation feelings are still Ten of Cups. I still feel fulfilled. I feel like I can hire an Uber. I feel like someone else is going to drive me. I feel confident that I don't have to worry. That's the feeling that you can take with you, even if that material thing goes away. So there is something to be said for making sure that what you think is bringing you a sense of fulfillment right now is something that can't be physically taken away. And if that's true, then it's coming from outside of self. It's a person, a place, or a thing. You have to ask yourself, wait, what about the person, place, or the thing do I think is going to make me feel better? That's the essence of what I'm after, and that's what I need right now. I need the essence of the thing I'm after. So maybe that's security. Maybe that's commitment, which is the Oracle card that came up for you. So you are wanting a sense of commitment, and it's joyful commitment too, satisfying emotional commitment. That is really what you are seeking, and you may have been expecting this feeling to come from a person who gives that to you. Joyful, expectant commitment, right? And so the thing is, oh, well, that person, they can take that away. They can take it away. They can wake up one morning and hit their head at a construction accident, the frontal lobe totally change their personality and want a completely different life. It's a scientific thing. It's happened before. They can end up losing their memory completely and retreating back to a time that you weren't present, and they don't even remember who you are, and they're no longer able to be committed to you because they can't remember you. That's a horrible traumatic event to happen. That person still, though, that's the person, right, that you loved. And even in that situation, even though they can't keep the commitment to you anymore, it's not the commitment that was important. It was like that person taking breaths and existing and being happy and fulfilled. Something about that person experiencing joy and a fulfilling life as best as they can. Something about that feels good. Something about someone else who feels that same way about you. Even when they've stopped feeling that way, there's this feeling that it would have gone on infinitely if all the circumstances aligned for that. That's something that can't be taken from you. And the feeling of making a commitment to yourself. I commit to finding a way to pay my bills through the most joyful and uplifting activity that I can muster, no matter where I am, what I'm doing. That is my commitment to myself. And then keeping it. And then if you sometimes don't keep your commitment, being forgiving and being like, wow, you know what? It's almost impossible to do something perfectly 100% of the time, but I'm seeing you trying so hard every day, and I'm proud of you for trying. And I know that tomorrow when you wake up and you have a good breakfast and the cup of coffee that you really enjoy drinking with your breakfast, you're going to be committed again, and we're going to start from there, because that's how this goes, because I'm committed to just keep working with you until we get it right. So that's what you need right now to really feel that self-love kind of going deep within you. And I need that too. So 100%. Hi, Kay Audrey. How are you doing today, babes? Okay, let's see. We got Lindsay's card. Nicole, if you want a card, make sure you're here. Let me know you're here. And Kay Audrey Miller, if you want your self-love card and your oracle, let me know. And if anyone else wants a self-love card and an oracle, just make sure you're following me. Click subscribe, and then I will do your reading. And then anytime I see you and you have a prayer badge, I will offer readings like how you're seeing me do that now as people enter the room. You're good today. Okay, perfect. And oh, you do want a self-love card. Okay. And let's see. You did miss the general, but I will post the replay. And there are 2 replays I did manage to post last night. So you will be able to see it later tonight or tomorrow. Hi, Steph. Yep, you can definitely get one too. So let me do Kay Audrey's. Oh, I think you have to renew. So if your badge is gone, I think you probably chose the 1 month badge and you might need to renew because that happened to someone else. And then your badge turns orange, I think, when you renew. So I think you just have to tell the platform, I do want to renew. I think it doesn't just automatically charge your card, which I think is kind of nice, actually. So as long as you have the... Because I did have 16 subscribers. It went down to 12 the other day. So, and then somebody else renewed. So I think it's just that it's been, I don't know how, but it's been 30 days, I think. Okay, so let me do Kay Audrey's first. So we're doing your self-love card. Hi, Sophia. Welcome. And your oracle. Okay, so Kay Audrey. 9 of Cups coming out for you. So this is in regards to self-love. So if you're getting the 9 of Cups and self-love is the topic, then one of the things I think probably happens with you is that you maybe don't kind of allow yourself to share the love with yourself, maybe, because this energy can be a selfish energy where you don't share the love with others. But if this is about your self-love, then this is like, I think you're sharing too much with others and you need to hold back some of that love. You gotta actually make sure that you have a chance to eat from that table of abundance, table of plenty, before you welcome everybody else. Get a big old plate. Make sure you have everything you want. Make sure put seconds and thirds up there just in case so you can have a little bit left over for later, okay? You don't have to eat everything right now, but just you want to put some leftovers away. And then once you got everything there and you're like, okay, I've got a little bit more for later, got everything I need for myself. I might even have a little too much because my eyes were like loving all of the options, you know, but I'm just going to only take what I need right now. But I have some set aside for later in case I get a little depleted in some way. And then you're like, okay, everybody else come to the table. You can have as much food as you want. Whatever is left over, you can have it. It's on me. Thanks for coming to my party, okay? So I think you need to do this a lot more in your life. Like, make sure you're sitting at that table like a king, and you're getting a king's portion, and king and queen's portion, and after that portion has been collected, then you are freely giving because you have plenty to give. You do. You have plenty to give. You don't have to hold it back from others. But you got to eat first. So pay yourself first. And that is coming out here with this truth card. She's holding a mirror. So this is emphasizing that what I'm saying is probably in regards to your relationships. You're getting reflected back in energy of lack. And the reason why there's a lack is because you've given everything and feel, I have nothing left to give. And then you're choosing somebody who feels, I have nothing to give. So when you stop giving so much to everybody else and start giving to yourself on a really more reasonable level, then you're going to start to feel, oh, now I have some love to give. And then the person that you choose on is going to reflect, I now have love to give as well. So that's the truth of how you're going to be able to fulfill your own wishes and find somebody who is able to do the same. And it does make sense. Okay, so let's check and see who is next. We had Kay Audrey, and I saw someone else came through. Steph. Let's do Steph, Saints, and then Sophia. So Steph and then Sophia. Okay, Steph and then Sophia. You're welcome, Kay Audrey. Thank you so much. Okay, Steph, what is your self-love advice for today? All right, and I've got to wrap up these readings because I'm heading out to go on a little trip with my mom to Sam's Club. If you are wanting to book a private reading, this would be a great weekend to do it. It's when all my bills are due, frankly, and I need it. So if you're planning to book a reading, now is a great time. Note that the Divine Masculine Channel Love Letter is $77 now. I was charging $33 for it, but it was way too little because it takes over an hour sometimes. But you get a whole playlist, the whole body of the letter, and a 15-minute reading with me reading the letter, explaining the stance of the letter if that needs to even be. It's usually pretty self-explanatory, but then also giving you some oracles to support you. So definitely check that out. That's private link in my, or that's a book in my, oh my gosh, that's a link in my bio. And you just go to book a personal reading. It takes you to the booking page. Starts with the option for a free consultation. That is to be used if you want to work with me on a weekly basis. We can set up what your needs are. We can talk about it before you pay for anything. So if you want to work with me one-on-one weekly basis, book a free consultation first. Otherwise, take your pretty little face to the place where you can just book whatever, like however much money you want to spend, however much time you think you need for your question. Okay, so Steph, we have for you the Triumph card. This is the World card. It is the story of Dionysus and Ariadne. So Ariadne, she was helping out this other bro. I can't think of the name of the person now. Theseus. She was helping Theseus out of the Minotaur's labyrinth with her little, like, thread. And Theseus gets out and is like, okay, well, I'm not interested in you, though. I'm interested in someone else. And she's like, are you serious? Because I just invested all this time and energy to helping you get out of your shitty situation. And now you want to just... Now you don't want to... Oh, you want to keep it casual? Okay, well... But rather than be devastated, she moves on and ends up with a god instead. And so, like, she's like, oh, okay, being with Hermes is, like, so much better. And I did a way better thing. I had a way better thing happen. Okay, so that's the story of these two lovers when they finally do come together. What's really crazy is look at what card you got. Protection, and look what she's protecting. The world, and this is the World card. Okay, so ironically, you are protecting yourself from ending a karmic cycle. And the protection that you have in protecting yourself from ending this karmic cycle is inadvertently preventing you from receiving your world. Because in order, look at how there's, this big world here. In order for these two to come together, she had to really pretty much embrace that Theseus just kind of used her. And she had to really embrace that there was a better option. So something that you've really needs to be closed out, all that it is protecting yourself from really receiving what you desire. And as soon as you admit it, embrace it, complete it, end it, and it can be a behavior, an idea, a concept, a thought pattern, a person, whatever it is that you've been holding on to that you think is going to give you what you need. Once you can just be like, that's not doing it. That's not giving me what I need. You're going to no longer be protecting yourself from receiving that better thing. So close a cycle. And that's going to be how you can really show yourself some love in this dynamic that you're in. So that's a powerful message. Okay. It was accurate? Okay, babe. Hang in there. Okay, so... Oh, I'm excited for those of you that booked the Divine Masculine Love Letter. It is a beautiful reading. I think it's... And they're not all sunshine and lollipops. Let me just warn you. Because, I think people watch the collective ones. The collective ones are about your own energy. So if you are a committed person and la-da-da, then that energy is going to be reflected back to you. When you do your own personal energy, any of the doubts you have, those are going to be magnified, projected back. And the person that you're focused on, they may not be in alignment with your higher self. And so you can kind of discover that sometimes with the love letters, just so you know. But they're really transformative and beautiful, and they really do help you. Oh, I see Abriel has her badge, and she's the dark orange badge. That means you go in for me as a prayer. Thank you. You go in. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for renewing. And I'll, of course, read yours right after I finish with Sophia's self-love card and her oracle. And then I will go ahead and do yours, Abriel. Thank you so much. Oh, also the replay of this will be on YouTube if you want to see your own reading again, or watch the collective reading I did at the beginning. It will be there later tonight, probably after I get back from my trip. So late tonight or tomorrow at the latest. Okay. And tomorrow's that extended Tell Me Everything, so make sure you try to be here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or right around there. 11 to 11:30 is usually when I get started. And the replay for that is available if you are a member or if you have a prayer badge. If you were the first in some of the first group of my prayers, then you probably got a playlist. After that, I probably won't be giving you that playlist. It's probably only going to be for members only, because members have to pay a recurring fee, and only recurring members here would have access to it. So if you're a recurring member and you know you're going to keep supporting me, just let me know. I'll shoot you that playlist. But I had to find some way to honor the members part of my site as well. So, okay, let's see. Your self-love advice is Queen of Cups energy. The Queen of Cups is masterful at navigating her emotions, even more masterful than the King. Kings actually can't hold a card to her. The King feels, deeply feels. He has mastery over his ability to feel. He definitely feels, but part of his mastery is an illusion, because he thinks that if he doesn't convey those feelings, then he can avoid conflict. And so that's why the King's mastery is not quite as good as the Queen's. She can feel, sense, intuit, and empathically absorb, connect, pick up, move, and flow through all emotion without drowning. The King feels like, oh, I'm going to drown. And the Queen is like, bitch, I'm a mermaid. Am I breathing air right now? I don't need to be. She is absolutely very, very comfortable with her feelings and emotions. She knows when to express them and when not to express them, not because of avoiding conflict, but because of being diplomatic, having good timing, a good sense of timing, because she's very sensitive to when the right moment is. She's so intuitive. The King, he is worried about being too expressive of feelings that may cause conflict. The Queen knows exactly when to say what needs to be said. Much more, if the two were leaders, you would want the Queen in charge. You would not want the King in charge, because there would be things he would repress. He wouldn't express the reasons for it. It would cause conflict, because avoidance causes conflict. She's not going to avoid anything. She's going to express her feelings. But in terms of deep, deep feelings, the King of Cups can't be beat. He's also so kind, compassionate. He's very just. You definitely want him on the team. You would want them ruling an empire together. But 100% you would want her making decisions, not the King of Cups. That's my opinion, but that's how I feel. So your self-love right now is about valuing and acknowledging this mastery. You either may have this, or it's something that you're showing love towards yourself while you're working on this. You're showing compassion with yourself, that you're coming to a place where you are this masterful in your emotional navigation. It's also too about valuing your psychic gifts and knowing when to say things and honoring timing in terms of expressing how you feel about something. And then it was coming out with the trust card. So really trusting too that if you have this loving, compassionate energy and that is what you are beaming out into the world, then you are absolutely attracting that level of attention back to you. And trusting in your emotions and in your abilities to be psychic and be sensitive and navigate your feelings and emotions right now is your advice for how you can deepen your feelings of self-love and grow and expand into healed relationships. I love it too. That was very beautiful. Okay, let's get Abriel's reading right here. We're going to get your self-love card. And then we'll go ahead and do your oracle. And then the next time I come live tomorrow, if you have a prayer badge by your name, you can of course get cards read again tomorrow. Or if you did not get a chance to get them done today, you will have a chance the next time you see me live or anytime you see me live during the month that you have an active subscription. All right. Give me an oracle. Okay. So we got a repeat oracle out here. I like when that happens because it shows it in its different forms. Okay, we have the 8 of arrows or the 8 of swords here. So this is a card about being trapped in your mind. We're talking about self-love. So right now what I'm seeing is I think there's probably a bunch of excuses why you can't give yourself the love that you want to give yourself. So an example of this will be, I really feel better when I eat foods that are like non-dairy or don't have a lot of grain in them, or when I choose fruit over refined sugars. But it's so expensive to do that, and it's really hard to try to do that if I'm traveling or if I'm like going out to eat, or my family really doesn't approve of those choices, so this is just an example I'm giving. So rather than choose to love yourself, you've got a lot of reasons why it's really difficult to do that, and those are all valid reasons. Like, you do have to spend a little bit more money on certain things. However, if you were looking at the situation, you could see that there's wiggle room. You could maybe cut costs here and here and save money here while you spend a little bit more there. It would just take a little bit of creativity. It would take an openness to receiving something that seems a little bit more decadent, because that would indicate that you feel worthy of receiving it, which is a bit of a self-love thing that's coming up, right? So it's this reluctance to give yourself what you need because of all of the things that are posing as obstacles from your mind. Like, it's like, how can I can love myself, but I can't be in a physical relationship with myself, so I'm not getting my physical needs met. It's like, okay, I hear you. There's a couple of things you can do, and I probably don't have to direct you on that. That's something that you have to, if that's something that you're comfortable with, that is one way to get one of those needs met. The act of physical touch, well, I got a dog. Like, I literally got a dog because I needed to have more physical touch in my life. She's very affectionate. I definitely get to cuddle with her and snuggle with her, and she puts her body on me too much, to the point where I'm like, okay, we're having a lot of physical touch right now. I make an effort to touch people more in my life that are my family and friends, to hug people more. After COVID, it was hard for me to get back into that, and I've tried to remind myself to just do that. So there are a lot of ways that we can be like, well, I can't have that because of this, and that. And it's like, no, you can. It's just a different way of having it. And it's like having to be willing to navigate those obstacles and get what you need so that you can get more used to receiving it, so that it can come to you in a much more profound way from another person who is giving you loving touch that's physically intimate. But you kind of got to build your way there. You got to get around those thoughts that are blocking you from that. Yes. Okay. And then we have here the fertility card, which is about your Empress energy. So this is, for me, this is really not thinking that you are right, like that you alone deserve all of this time and attention, I think. The Empress really has earned it. Like, she has shown that she can, like, bring all these different factions together and guide them and direct them to go in this way that flows, and there's abundance and prosperity, and it's shared with everyone around her. And like, she earns herself a break. She earns herself the ability to take the time to love herself. In fact, she didn't even actually have to do any of those things I just said. She actually was always worthy of receiving that level of love, but there's no way she can deny it at this point because she's put in all this time and energy and work into it. It's only your mind that's sort of limiting you from seeing your true value and worth in your Empress energy. So feeling limited in how to show yourself love, but understanding that the limit comes from really not truly embracing how much you have earned that love just by purely existing, number one, and number two, by, you know, doing that with so much care and consideration for others. Those two things combined make you more than worthy of getting that love that should be going towards yourself and not being wasted on people who don't really spend time or energy giving it back. Time and energy giving it back is obvious. You don't have to ask, like, is this person giving, is this, you know, if this person does this, is that enough time and energy? Is it? Is that enough for you? If it was enough for you, you probably wouldn't have to ask. You'd be like, oh, my person does that. I feel totally fulfilled. You know, I know my person loves me because they make playlists for me. That shows me that my person loves me, and that's all I need. I don't need anything else. So you'll know when you're getting what you feel you are worth, because you'll be like, oh, I don't need anything else. This is enough. So I hope that helps you, my dear. Thanks again for renewing your subscription. I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time, to bring you the extended Tell Me Everything. If you have become a member in this first month or so, you have already a link to that replay. If you can't make the 11 o'clock, it is always available for replay for members of my website only. And if you were one of the first lucky 20 people that subscribed, you have a link. After that, you do have to be a member on my site in order to receive access to the members only page. But as a subscriber, you are always getting you have access to me in DMs. There is a Discord channel available. Still waiting for people to sign up over there. I think we're going to get a lot more interaction on there once we do the retreat. So we're going to do a spa retreat in January. There are 30 spots for this retreat, so 30 tickets. I already have about 10 people I know for sure are going to claim the first 10 tickets, which means there's going to be 20 tickets left over. The tickets are going to be $100 for the entire weekend, but you get more than 2 readings from me, plus all the other content I'm bringing to you. I'm going to hire another creator to provide an ASMR Reiki session that would be valued at $100 if you got it by itself. I'm going to be having you can interact with me during the entire weekend. It's going to be really cool. So stay tuned for information about that. The schedule is going to be coming out soon, so you can see what the schedule will look like. It starts at 11 a.m. in the morning on Saturday the 7th and ends the next day around noon. Obviously we will be sleeping on our own in our own rooms, but we're going to get room numbers and everything for our spa retreat. It's going to be really fun. I'm excited. So that's coming up. If you're interested in it, make sure you comment. You can comment on this YouTube video if you're watching the replay. You can tell me in the DMs if you are one of my subscribers, say I'm interested, and I will make sure your name gets on the list for it. And I will make sure that I'm going to send basically a little launch. If you want in on this, here's your ticket link, so you can go ahead and make sure you secure a ticket to the first 30 people who have told me they want that. And then after that day, it will go out to the rest of the world and they will have an opportunity to buy a ticket. So that's how I'm going to do the ticket sales. It's going to start in the next couple of weeks. You can buy it for a gift for somebody. You can ask for somebody to give it to you as a gift. I highly recommend it. It's going to be really help you get started off on the new year in a really positive mindset. Not like these are my New Year's resolutions that I'm going to break, but what do I want my life to look like? I have another year. I can look out ahead at this other year and just have a big question mark there. Or I can have some clarity about what my vision is for my life, what my vision is for how I'm going to really put passion and love into my life and romance with myself into my, it's going to help really sort out all that kind of stuff. So, and if you don't get a chance to attend, there will be a recorded version of the entire weekend that you can just take yourself through if you want to follow through it yourself, and watch all of the content from the previous one that will be available at a lower cost after the event happens. So once we get that all squared away, I'll have those numbers for you. I don't exactly know what the cost is going to be yet. But once I know, I will tell you. I try to be transparent with everything that I'm doing. Oh, you lost your 333. I can give that back to you. I have a link for, if you are a person that was subscribing at the $3.33 level a while ago, and for some reason your card doesn't go through, if you actively cancel the service on your own, then when you try to renew, it's going to be $5.55. But if you had that happen where your card just didn't go through, just send me a message and I will send you the link so that you can do it at $3.33. It is just not visible anymore on my site, but it is still active, so I can send you the link for that if that happened. So no worries, just shoot me an email and I'll get you all set up. I appreciate that. For those of you that have been members since it was only $3.33 to be a member on my site, you're my ride or dies. I appreciate you so much. So yeah, make sure you just send me an email and I'll get that all sorted for you. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I will see you again tomorrow. I'm going to go off to Sam's Club now and buy a big bag of coffee beans and a huge vat of coconut oil. So I will talk to you all soon. Take care, everybody.